on me. Still Here it talks about all that. People can go check that out too. Kyle Boothman filmed it, directed and produced it and whatnot. But
Tell people where you can find that so they can take a look.
you could find it anywhere online. You could find it right here on my page.
Okay.
What's the name of my page again? Life After dot dot dot. You can find it here.
All right.
You can go on Vimeo. You can find it elsewhere on YouTube. Surfline, Stab Magazine, Surfer Magazine. It's circulated the globe. It's been around a little bit.
Nice.
Um, but we'll tell the story here eventually also. But that surgery uh, ended up coming with a lot of complications.
It's
That
unfortunate.
it's been 15 years and it's
Still haunting you?
still haunting me. It's a lifetime thing. The doctor. So there were some complications. We'll get into the story later or something. There were some complications, and due to those complications, I've basically been given a life sentence in the back surgery world.
No, Jesus, that sounds bad already, dude.
Yeah, it's fucked up, dude. But I've kind of learned to accept and I've adapted to it. I've had no other choice. It's pretty devastating. It comes with a lot. Once again, it's affected every aspect of my life, and I've really had to learn how to adapt and flow. Once again, do the best I can with what I've been dealt, man. And
So is that disc still inside you today?
the artificial disc is inside of me today, but
Okay.
when I said I've been dealt a life sentence with this whole thing, so the doctor, uh, like I said, there were some complications. Those complications require me, since I got the surgery to this day, until the day that I die, I have to get what's called a radio frequency ablation procedure on my spine. And what that is, basically, they go in and burn the nerves in my spine, all up and down at different levels and whatnot. And that puts the pain receptors to sleep so they can't send the pain signals to my brain. So they're burning the nerves. But eventually, those nerves grow back and they awaken or whatever. And I start feeling back pain again. And I have
Damn.
that all throughout my entire spine. So I have to go in there probably like 6 times a year to get this procedure done. Even with my insurance, it cost me a shitload of money. Like this year, my bill was probably like $8,000 for that annually,
Wow.
times 15 years, times the rest of my life. So that alone right there is kind of for me, working class guy, it's a kind of a heavy thing I have to chew on. I just, because his doctor made a mistake, I'm penalized for the rest of my life.
Ugh.
So
Ugh. So today, where's Rob today? Now that you've gone through this, I know this is a brief summary, a brief synopsis. Where's Rob today?
I'm sitting right here with you, man.
I'm
Long
glad you're able to
Beach.
sit in my shitty ass chair and deal with it.
Hey, Rob's still here, dude. Just like my documentary was called "Still Here." Man, I've been through a lot of shit, and I always just go, man, I'm still here somehow. But anyway, I'm just always trying to move forward with my life and not backwards. Sometimes that's a challenge.
Sure.
Uh, you know, I've learned a lot of massive, very extremely important lessons from all of this. So, a lot of things in life, they say they happen for us, not to us. Some of these tougher things that we go through life, the challenges that we face and whatnot, if we give it a chance and when we go through them with some pride and some dignity, or even if we don't, but just eventually, if we grow from it and can look back and be like, wow, I learned some stuff, I learned some lessons from that experience, no matter what it may be, then I always think that's pretty cool. So that's what makes it like, hey, this happened for you, dude, because you learned. You have to be open-minded and willing to learn the lesson. And you don't usually see the lesson at the time. You understand the lesson later on down the road.
Sure. Well, it takes you as long as it takes you to put it together and understand it.
Correct.
Pretty
So the lessons I've learned and the person I've become because of all this, I like that part. If that makes sense.
That's an amazing way to see it, dude. I gotta say, it's an amazing way to see it.
Well, I had no choice but to really turn my perspective around and find that truth in all of this, dude. Wisdom comes with age and experience,
That's
man.
right.
You don't look over at some 15-year-old kid and go, "That's a wise young man." Well, maybe we do. Maybe we do actually sometimes, but you know what I mean.
Well, if they're wise beyond their years and they really absorb a lot as little geniuses.
Through experiences, man, we learn in life, and from good and bad, or we can learn from somebody else's experiences. I'm pretty good at that, seeing things happen to my friends, so I try not to make, or even just of any people, try not to make those type of mistakes or decisions or whatever. Well, damn, I guess my mistakes aren't so bad compared to this guy's
exactly.
or whatever. But yeah, dude, I've learned a lot of fucking hard lessons, and one of them really is that the world don't stop turning. The world don't stop moving.
No, it does not.
The world don't give a fuck what you're going through, and the rent still due.
That's right.
The rent is always due.
That's right.
So
the bill comes due every time.
That's it, man. There was a point when I go in so often to get those radio frequencies, dude. It was just overwhelming for a long time, and I used to even have. I don't want to They're really stressful. They're extremely painful, and I've had like 90 something.
That's a big number.
So far, I've been through this on that table with them burning the nerves in my spine 90 something times. And after a while, I just kind of got used to it, dude. It's still painful, it still sucks, but it's not what it used to be.
Right. You've acclimated to the agony.
I've acclimated to the agony. I've become a little more callous, I just walk in there like it's another day, dude. And they even say, "Man, you're just cool and calm these days," because I was young when I started going. When you have a massive surgery and then the surgery doesn't pan out how you anticipated, not only does it not pan out, but it multiplies the problems that you already had. I had less problems before I had the surgery.
That is a sad thing to hear.
It's fucked up, yeah. And so when you spend your life savings on this surgery with the hopes of basically I just was under the impression that everything was going to be all good, and I was going to go on living my life, working, surfing, snowboarding, being a dad, a husband, and that I still do those things, but when you spend your life savings on a procedure and your expectations are the pinnacle of what you envision in your life for yourself, and it turns to be the polar opposite of that, and then you go through the surgery and you come out in horrific pain, worse than you were before, and that's a whole nother chapter of this shit. But when you consistently are back on the table getting these procedures over and over again, and every time you get one of these procedures, okay, I'll be good after this. After you got say 15, 20 of them, and you're realizing okay, it's been 3 years and I'm still getting these radio frequencies since I got that surgery, and these are costing me a shitload of money, time, effort, and energy, and stress and pain. Once that realization kicks in, it's overwhelming and so depressing. Does that make sense?
Oh, of course it does.
So like you go in for a surgery thinking everything's gonna be good, but then you end up with a lifetime of problems afterwards that cost you financially. It's affected every aspect of my life, dude. There's not one area of my life that it hasn't affected.